Oh well.
What is up? What is up? What is up? How is everybody doing today? It's your boy Wildcard Martin in the building. We got the homie Detroit Mail in the building. Oh, my bad. We got Mr. Go Blue in the building.
What up, though?
You know when a motherfucker really embellished when he changed his whole goddamn name. You know.
It was between Go Blue and Fuck Nick, so I figured Go Blue would be best.
Nah, I like Fuck Nick better.
Fuck both of you.
As you see, big homie Nick is in the building. He's over there getting the rest of his posterior bleach, so he's going to join us in a second. But hey, let's get down to business. Y'all know the deal is
on Donkey Dick.
Yeah, y'all know the eating them glissies. I told him about eating them. Anyway.
I'm gonna end the fucking live stream. I'm gonna end the live stream. Like, what happened? And I'll be like, hey, all right, I'm here now.
But no,
y'all know sit there peacefully, eat my meal. By the way,
we won't stopping you.
We ain't stopping you.
Oh, you don't poke the sleeping bear. When I'm eating, I'm the sleeping bear. Now you're getting me all riled up. I do want to add this because the last couple shows we've done, I've wanted to say this about the intro. I love that Mel put women's volleyball in there. Very well done. I see that all the time with the unapologetic commentary pops up. And I was like, I always got to tell him. That was a very good little sneaky move.
It's only for the ass.
Well done. Well done. Why we do everything in life, brother.
Well, while y'all ponder on that volleyball ass, please do us a favor. Go on over to YouTube, type in I.O.W. Sports Network, and go check out all the content that we got there on the I.O.W. Sports Network page. Again, I.O.W. Sports Network on YouTube. Like, share, follow, subscribe. That same address, you can follow us there on Instagram and Facebook. Especially the Facebook, it gives you guys a chance, the viewers, watchers, the listeners, gives you a chance to, interact. That's the right word I was looking for. Interact.
There you go.
Yeah. Interact, give your own take, give your funny sports meme. I.O.W. Sports Network on Facebook. Cop some merch. And then, of course, I.O.W. Sports 1 on Twitter. Follow all the content that we got. Proud New York Jets fans. No Name Podcast. Wildcard Chief. Of course, the I.O.W. Sports shows that are Monday and Thursday shows in the Late Night Owl edition. And now that we got that out the way, man, how great was this? We had a 4-day weekend of football heaven.
Right.
Football heaven. Again, happy belated Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Hope you had a fantastic time. Got a chance to eat up all that you could, drink up all that you could, because God knows I definitely did. Probably the first Thanksgiving I haven't had to work and shit. I can't even remember.
Wow.
So yeah, I had the chance to actually be off, and I took full advantage of it. I pretty much drank all Thursday. Huh?
You ain't cook nothing?
Oh yeah, I could. But
look, he was posting plates of dinner at 11:30 in the fucking morning.
Yeah, bro, my food was
like,
done.
This is dinner 1, later's dinner 2, tonight dinner 3.
My food was done by like 1 o'clock. I was already eating. Boy, by the time 1 o'clock.
Hey, we gotta take your black card. You ain't supposed to have dinner
Nah,
that early.
nah, man. I had a whole bunch of drinking to do.
Shit. That's a whole white people shit.
Nah, because I had to work. I had to work the next day, dog. I had to work the next day. My mom and sister were actually leaving Friday anyway, so I was trying to spend as much time with them Wednesday night and Thursday night as I could. So, man, I had my food done early, and man, when I say I was drunk as a skunk, I was high as a skunk. I was fucked up. I pretty much went into work hungover still. Wouldn't work a damn. Thank God it was slow at the country club because I wasn't working Monday. Shit. Yeah, it was Monday all over again on Friday.
Right.
But no, thank goodness it was slow because man, I won't work shit. But no, I hope everybody had a fantastic Thanksgiving. Like I said, got to spend time with friends and loved ones and eat up as much as you could. But yeah, and a 4-day weekend of football, and I'm not just talking about just American football. We had some USA, England in there,
football.
In there. Football, yeah, football. So we had that in there. We had that snuck in there. But hey, let's start with Thursday. Thursday started off with a bang with Mail's Detroit Lions taking the Buffalo Bills to the wire.
I mean, once again, they found a way to give up the game. Bad call, fumbles, Jared Goff, the usual, the usual.
Hey man, y'all stayed in there tough with them though, man.
I mean, they played a good game. They played a good game. I'm not too upset about it because
I know y'all tired of more victories, and I know this is another.
Here's the thing, because somebody has said that, and I said this to me doesn't feel like a more victory. The last 4 days feel more like tests. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like when they play Chicago, you're supposed to beat the sorry teams. If you're gonna be a good team, you gotta beat the sorry team. You can't lose to the sorry teams. They play Green Bay, which is a better team, not as good as Green Bay normally is, but it's a better team. Then they beat the 7-2 Giants. So now you want to see how you stack against an elite team, and they played pretty good against an elite team. Now to be a winner, you have to capitalize on those turnovers, capitalize on when you down in the red zone, you run that clock down. Yeah, you don't shoot yourself in the foot. You don't miss field goals. Mm-hmm. You don't take safety. Jared Goff is athletic. They wouldn't have had that safety. Because you see when he hit him, he's still able to run out of it. He just fell over. That's a non-athletic person. I think an athletic quarterback, that wouldn't have been a safety. So just little small stuff like that, shows you still have a ways to go, but you're further along than you were before. So I wasn't too upset about it.
Fair.
Huh?
You played with the Bills on national television. I'm not being a dick because our teams are cut from the same cloth. We won more games this year than we won the last 2 years combined. I think both of us.
Right.
But you competed on Thanksgiving with one of the top teams in the league.
Right. And when's the last time you could say some shit like
many that? Thanksgivings, that game starts at 12:30 and it's over by 1:15.
Right, by 1:15, you good with it.
I guess I'm gonna go get another piece of pie. I ain't watching this guy.
Mitchell throwing 2 pick sixes in like the first quarter and shit. And then,
right.
But yeah, they competed, man. They don't have the greatest talent. They're still missing some players.
What's up, Matt? What's up, Ant?
Yeah, bro. I made a sweet potato.
Hold on. Anthony, you don't want to talk about your silly ass playing volleyball and Daisy Dukes. We're trying to talk about the women doing it, bro. Anthony's like, I played. No, bro, we're good. We don't need
Yeah, and I still got some sweet potato cheesecake left over. It's like half sweet potato and cheesecake, like swirled together.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
First time I did it, it came out good. No, because I made like 2 of them. That's why
okay. I thought I got left with some collard greens. I'm about to eat some of that when we get off of here.
Oh, no. I already froze my collard greens. I already froze my mac and cheese. I already froze all the shit that I could save, pull out for another day. I already did all that. Past Saturday.
Thanksgiving tomorrow is like Hanukkah to a Jew. It's like 8 freaking days of meals.
Hey, I couldn't cap.
We have 8 crazy plates.
Hey, I ain't gonna cap. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, bro.
My apologies to the Jewish community and those that do celebrate Hanukkah.
Hey, I'm glad you did that. I'm glad you did that.
We support every Jewish endeavor. and every business that you own.
Yes. I'm glad you did that because we put that disclaimer. We
don't support Hebrews and Negroes.
We ain't anti nothing over here. Before we get canceled.
Anthony, you found another QB and your offense is still trash too. We the same, brother.
But no,
the most exciting thing to happen in Washington's offense this year was the running back getting shot.
But no,
Nick makes that joke because he knows that the victim is okay and playing. So,
and not only is he playing, Brian Robinson Jr. is a weapon.
Nice.
He is a weapon.
He's the reason that the Eagles went and got Sue and Joseph like the next morning.
Yeah, because
we can't have that happen again.
Yo, he tore up that middle, bro. He tore it up. Anyway.
Like he's running for that bullet again.
Oh, breaking news. Anthony with some breaking news. The Chiefs signing Melvin Gordon.
The running back for what?
I guess they want to fumble more. They don't turn the ball over enough, so they brought him in to expedite that process.
I hope that's a joke.
Is somebody hurt? Pacheco not hurt, right?
No, Pacheco.
Valeri's not hurt, right?
They got McKinnon and they got Pacheco.
Yeah, so what they need?
No, and they finally activated Ronald Jones yesterday and barely gave him the ball yesterday. I don't understand. Anyway,
we talk about that.
Yeah, because I'm not. Join the practice squad. Wow. Okay. Anyway, Giants 2-game losing skid, lost to the Lions, lose on Thanksgiving to the Cowboys. Cowboys walk away with the victory. Takeaways from those games for that game, fellas.
Cowboys and Giants.
Yeah.
I don't know, man, because they played a short week, the Giants. So I'm not going to take too much out of it. I think the Giants are better than what people are saying. I don't think they're the fraudulent Giants like people are saying.
They're banged up, though. They got
they are banged up too.
What wore down on them in that game is that the Cowboys eventually just had more talent and was able to take it to them eventually. So, but I think when they're healthy, they're not the most talented team as is, but they need to be fully healthy to. And
they play
a quality team like that.
Right, they play great team as a team together. They're fully functional teams, you know what I'm saying? So they play great as a team. It's not like you can point to like, okay, this guy right here is the superstar. This guy right here is it's like the whole team effort when they play.
It's always a team effort.
Yeah, so I respect that. I think one of the things that they need to do is run Daniel Jones more. It's like when he runs, he's effective. They don't run him enough to me.
Yeah, but then that also brings up the devil's advocate. You run him too much and you shorten his career. So it's
That's true. You kind of you kind of walking that thin line.
Yeah, you got to balance that joint. And also, if you do have him running, you just got to make sure you put him in situations where he can easily find a way to get down, not take the hit, and go ahead and get the yardage, and then still be able to keep himself safe. Obviously, you got to teach that as well, but you can't prevent everything. But and then final game, we had the Patriots and the Vikings. I was pleasantly surprised that the Patriots actually put up more than 10 points. They got 26. Hey, say what you want. I give them credit. Offensively, hung in there.
Well, they got a good running game.
Yeah, running game, but they ain't known for scoring.
I'm just saying, they're not known for scoring, but they got good running game, got good defense, so they're not total trash. And the Viking defense is
okay. Yeah, it's all right.
So you know what I'm saying. So it kind of makes sense that they gonna score some. Playing the Vikings. Hey, it's the first time Kirk Cousins played prime time and won.
It's been a minute.
I
ain't even gonna cap. That's why I went against him in the pick'em league. I'm like,
me too.
I was like, this is prime time. I was like, I can't do it. and Kirk put it off. He put off for prime time. And almost lost it. I ain't gonna lie. I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised how tough the Patriots played, man. But hey, that goes back to coaching now.
But that's Minnesota. Minnesota's defense is trash.
I'm not gonna say it's trash. I say it's all right.
That's what Mike White does Sunday, and I'm not on the Mike White bandwagon.
Wait, hold on. You ain't on that train this year, but you was on it last year, but you're not on it this year. You was on that dang tough last year.
Forced to play back up.
Be patient. We'll get to that. called the tease, bro. It's called the teaser.
Yeah.
I'm learning how to set the audience up and not just spitting out hot takes. They'd be like, "This motherfucker ain't gonna support Mike White." Oh, I got your fans.
I can't. No, overall, great Thursday.
Yeah, good games.
I can honestly say that there's probably the first time that, since they gone to the format of having 3 games on Thanksgiving, this is probably the first time in a while. Might be the first time that all 3 games were enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was surprised that my drunk ass was actually up for 2 and about 3/4 of the game of all of them.
I got to admit, I missed the middle of the third quarter to the final field goal in the Buffalo game. I fell asleep right on my brother-in-law's recliner, snoring through the kids, yelling and wrestling and everything. And I was just like, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like,
no, like it was like little after halftime, I started dozing off in that Patriots-Vikings game because I was like, boy, that liquor finally caught up to my ass. And I'm talking, I was drinking all day because I got up about like 9 o'clock in the morning and started drinking as I was heating up everything. I was like, hell yeah, I'm drinking all day. I can tell
because with your plate of food post, I read it as, what y'all motherfuckers eating? What's on your motherfucking plate?
Like, hey man, it was a Crown. I normally don't drink Brown. Brown gave me angry, and
I'm tired of this motherfucking turkey on this motherfucking plate.
That's hilarious. I can't. Then we go into Friday.
Very good game.
Yeah, very good games. Then we go into Friday. Have some college football on Friday.
Oh, hold up real quick. The Giants and the Cowboys, the highest rated regular season game ever.
Yeah, I saw that crap.
That was big news that came out of the day. All of the epic regular season games, and that one was the highest rated ever. So people talking about death of the NFL can chill the fuck out.
Everybody knows that the NFL is not going anywhere. I mean, when you bring in $16 billion a year, you're not going nowhere. Anyway. Then we were blessed with some football on Friday. A sidebar, we had football. With America took on England, came to a draw, 0-0. I mean, me and Mel kind of already talked about our expectations for the squad. We just want y'all to be competitive, and they got a must-win situation tomorrow as they take on Iran. They got to win to get in to the knockout round.
Up with that big. With all of the fucking inhumane injustices going on in Iran, if Iran is the team that keeps the United States out. Listen, I'm obviously rooting for America, but you can't help have the thought in the back of your head, like they're like killing teenage women over there and shit. And this is going to be the country that stops the United States? Like, it's...
No.
It's fucking bedlam. Biden will go to war the next day to make up for it. Like, I got this. We're gonna fucking start another war. That's what I do.
Well, you look at the men's national team. Maybe you should have took care of business against Wales, who's a lesser version of an England squad.
Mm-hmm.
You gave them their goal on a penalty kick.
Yeah. You go with England, who's one of the powerhouses in international football, and you get a draw. So my thing is, if you're good enough to get a draw with England, you were good enough to go ahead and get the outright win over Wales. Now,
you completely outplayed England. From what I saw, the shots on goal, the header off the crossbar. I mean, Every time I saw it, I'm going to admit, USA is undefeated in my house because both times they put me to sleep in the second half and I missed from like 60 minutes on. So I can't watch it. I can't stay awake. There's not enough excitement. But what I did see with the first half is USA was opportunity after opportunity missed, kicks going high, wide, save, a kick right at the goalie.
They had their opportunities.
Yeah. You can't there's not that many opportunities in soccer. You can't miss on them like that.
No, and not only that, it's this is what pretty much the conclusion that me and Mel came to. Hey, have a good showing in this World Cup because in 4 years you want to put on a great show when the FIFA World Cup comes to the United States.
Right.
And you want to show that you are an actual capable enough team to win it in your home country. Because you don't want to be like Qatar. Them Jokers lost the opening matchup. The first team to host a FIFA World Cup and lose the opening match. And they're the first country to get eliminated from the knockout rounds quicker than any other country that has ever hosted a FIFA World Cup. You don't want to be Qatar.
Right.
And that's the thing. You don't want to be the national team that fails to even make a dent as you host the events, which is it's a major event for soccer fans every 4 years. You know, you don't want to be that team that can't represent your home country as you host it.
Yeah, watch it from the sidelines and you host it.
Hey, sidebar, that whole Qatar team, they probably getting kidnapped.
Oh, kidnapped? They already at the firing squad. For real.
You come in and baby, it's our country. Off with his head.
I just want to say there's a lot of single women out there due to the execution of the cartoon. Holla at nigga.
Hey, shoot your shot, young man.
Ah! That was me doing what you said. I hollered at him.
Oh my goodness. But no, Friday was.
I don't discriminate against Hajib.
I'm laughing harder at that joke than I should.
But no, USA, they got to take care of business tomorrow against Iran. I do like the irony that Nick brought up. I mean, that'll be very ironic.
Iranian irony. It's McMahon should have came up with him. The irony Iranian.
Such good shit.
USA.
But no, we'll see what they do tomorrow as they take on Iran, 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday.
1 or 2?
No, at 1 they start coverage. 2 they kick off.
Oh, that's what I saw. Coverage starts at 1. Okay.
Yeah, coverage starts at 1, kickoff at 2, and that'll be on Fox. So get your apps, get your watch your channels, man. Let's support our boys. Because here's the deal: as much as we give the women's national soccer team so much love, man, let's give it to the men as well.
They're more exciting to watch, though.
Well, because they win. They win. I mean,
one women's soccer game in 1998 when Chastain took her shirt off, and he thought that's how
99, sir. 99. You're the 99ers.
Relevant. Doesn't matter. He watched her take the shirt off, and he's like, "I'm gonna watch this forever." He goes, "I don't even have to drug her. She took it off voluntarily."
I was hooked.
This is the best sport ever.
Such good shit. But no, Friday, down in Carolina, down here in the Tri-Hill State. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. We got
we're getting spammed. Yeah.
We talked about it. I got it. Yeah.
Hey, bring it up.
I can't. One of you guys got to do it from YouTube.
Down here in the Tar-Heel State, a big game on Friday. NC State get the upset over Carolina in double overtime. So that happened Friday night.
I blocked them. We're good.
Thank you.
Man, it's been a long time since Florida State game was exciting as it was on Friday. 45-38, Florida State gets a win over Florida. Yeah, but then we go into Saturday. And Saturday kicked off with a bang, and we're talking about
that game starts at noon. I hate
it.
No, sir.
I get it. They don't want those people drinking all day.
Hey. I'm talking about the Clemson and South Carolina game. What? Duh.
Me too. I hate that.
No,
that's a good game though.
South Carolina gets the upset, and it goes back to what me and Mel said a few weeks ago when they first dropped the rankings, and we said the number one eyesore to me that doesn't fit in that ranking was Clemson at 4, and this proves why. DJ Ugalele, their quarterback, which by the way they're sticking with him in the ACC championship game this weekend against Carolina. I'm pretty sure that's a mistake, but he went 8 for 29 and only threw for 99 yards and 1 TD. And look, since Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun and Taj Boyd have left Clemson, I don't know if Dabo even knows how to coach offense anymore. Does anybody know? I mean, what
did I say about Clemson a while ago on the show? Game looks really easy when you got Trevor Lawrence playing quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
It makes everybody, what's that? No one's there? Okay, I'm going to run for 17 yards.
But no, Clemson goes down and further proves to me that they were never that good as they were supposed to. But let's give this time to Mr. Go Blue as Michigan Wolverine, they go into Buckeye Stadium and put a whooping on them Buckeyes. They go into the horseshoe, 45-23. I mean, this was a little known fact. This is the first time that the game was in Ohio in the last 4 years, because it was there. They were there in 2019, but 2020 it was supposed to. No, they were there in 2018. They were supposed to be there in 2020, but COVID hit, and then 2021 went back to Michigan, and then this year it's the first time it was back in Ohio since 2018. So I'm pretty sure the Buckeye fans feel a little slighted about that, but hey, y'all shouldn't have dropped COVID. You know what I mean?
Fuck a Buckeye.
I'm very interested to hear what our friend here has to say. It's not often that he's happy with his teams, so the floor is all yours. Yo, fuck him, man. If I don't want to hear shit, he got
fuck that motherfucker, man. Yeah, give a damn about Michigan.
This is why you can't give me controls and weed.
That motherfucker ain't a Michigan. He a Michigan. Hey,
I love
Mr. Go Blue.
Fox was trying to interview Harbaugh, and he's like, "Nah, talk to the quarterback." Nah. Go ahead, take your moment.
Nah, take your moment, man.
Man, fuck Ohio State. I thought it was a good game, man. I watched most of it from work.
Yes, and so, Marvin Harrison Jr. People are going to go tank for him.
Yeah, monster.
They're going to go tank for him. He a monster.
Oh yeah,
superstar for sure.
That catch top 5 pick this year, and he's only a sophomore.
Man, that catch he got, he stretched out for
against Indiana a couple of weeks ago.
No, in the Michigan game.
Oh yeah, he did. He does it every week.
He does it every week.
He really does. He really does. He makes highlight reels catch everywhere.
It's amazing how he can
but the one against Indiana, he literally was getting dragged out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
He was getting dragged out of bounds.
Dislocated his hip and foot.
Yes. He literally stuck his right leg out and dropped it right on the ground before he went out of bounds. I'm like, I don't know how the hell you do something like that, but he did.
That's talent, man. That's talent. Yes. You gotta take your hats off to him, man. You know he's a Buckeye.
Hey, it does help that he has good genes, good DNA. It does help.
Yeah.
A little bit. Maybe he's smart enough not to bring a gun to a car wash.
Right.
You can say whatever you want about me, but this fucking gigantic watermelon-sized dome of a head that I have remembers a lot of useless shit.
Oh no, I remember when Marvin Harrison brought that shit to us because he had a car wash in Philly.
In Philly.
Yeah, he had a car wash in Philly. I remember that. But no, Marvin Harrison's a beast. But no, floors are yours, Mr. Gold Blue. Go ahead, talk your shit about your squad. And I want you to touch on the fact that this is 2 years in a row that you got to win over the biggest rival. And let me ask you this: is this a power swing? Is the power balance of Ryan Day coming down and the power balance of Jim Harbaugh going up?
I ain't ready to say that yet. I'm not ready to say that yet.
Really?
But I will. Not yet. I remember the Bo Schembechler years when they used to just
good thing, man.
They used to beat Ohio State like it wasn't nothing.
I know. It's 20 years. 99 and 2000. 22 years since the last time you won back-to-back. I think Harbaugh is the big dick in the room now at those coaches.
I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good. But, I guess I'm spoiled from seeing the Bo Schembechler years. They used to beat them all the time.
Good for recruiting, too, man.
Yeah, it's good for recruiting.
Especially now you're throwing the ball. You can add that to that run game you guys got. That'll help out greatly.
And I did that without Blake Corum, man.
Yeah, Blake Corum didn't play. Donovan Edwards played a hell of a game. I think he got 216 yards.
We could have ran through those holes, though. Some of those holes Michigan made were 5 yards wide.
Yeah.
They were huge craters.
But they always have good linemen. Michigan always had good linemen, offensive linemen.
Yeah.
So, it was good. Like I said, I was kind of worried at the beginning because it was kind of close. The first half, I was like, oh, shoot. Michigan find a way to let them come back. And then Ohio State had went up. I think it was like 2017. I saw Michigan go at 24-20. And I was like, all right, what they going to do? And it's like, it stayed like that for a while. Then that second half came.
They blew
that ball open. But Ohio State kept trying to play the run. They wouldn't make no adjustments. Mm-hmm. So I put that on. That's coaching. you came in one game plan, which I understand. You figure we're gonna stop the run because they're running team, and then when JJ McCarthy kept throwing over your defense, you got to make those adjustments, and you never made those adjustments. Players was wide open. You were just hitting them. It was easy. It was easy money.
It looked like you played Rutgers in the second half, and
it was easy money, man.
That was what you did to Rutgers. You were losing to Rutgers 17-14.
Yep.
It was that 3-4 point game. You went in at halftime, and then the final score, I think you scored 28 in the third quarter on Rutgers. You made it look like you were playing Rutgers against Ohio State.
So I was kind of surprised.
I'm not a Michigan guy. I'm not an Ohio State guy either. So like I always say, I don't have a dog in the race, but I appreciate rivalry and the game, especially when it's number 2 and 3 in the country. But what you made them look like in that second half was very
masterpiece.
Not impressive enough to defeat Georgia, but still for the Big Ten, not bad.
Well, I mean, and I'm glad you segued into that because we gotta. Yo, what's up?
Well,
man,
since he's typing, I figured that the emergency maintenance, he made it.
Let's hope he made it because you're
cleaning up that mess. You are now typing, Doc.
But no, you look at that game, and not only was it a big rivalry game, so the stakes is already high to begin with. Then you look at the fact that they were 2 and 3 in the college football rankings. That adds another layer of excitement. And just to add another layer, it determined who was going to go to the Big Ten championship as well. So that game was very important. But let's look at the grand scheme of things. So who's the Final Four getting these rankings tomorrow? I know it can still change because Georgia's is Georgia in the SEC championship?
Yeah.
They got
LSU.
LSU. Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, Georgia still has to take care of LSU. Michigan still has to take
no matter what. Georgia's in no matter what.
I think Georgia could lose and still be in.
If Georgia loses to LSU 23-20 on a last-second field goal,
you're not. This is a close game. This is a close game.
They've been undefeated.
Oh no! Okay,
top 4.
I'm with you on that. I'm with he said I'm in the handicap style.
Oh yes.
My man got the Cadillac of the bathroom stalls. Get that extra space.
I mean, if you look at the ranking now, you got Georgia or Anthony's put it up. Well, no, it's not Ohio State, but it's on Georgia, Michigan, TSU, and USC. That's the top.
You put USC at 4?
No, that's who they got right now.
Okay.
I mean, it could change once the finals come out, but right now that's what they got right now. So, say Georgia loses, you gonna put USC over Georgia?
No.
You gonna put who else? I think I got it written down. Let me see.
Well, right now
Alabama's 7, so Alabama's 6. Ohio State is at 5.
Yeah, but USC's at 6.
Right.
They were, and then they
have 4 now.
They still got to take care of Utah in the Pac-12, which they had a great game.
They lost to.
They lost to in a very close effort. So I mean, this isn't the final standings or rankings,
right?
For the championship playoffs. I'm just saying right now, what would you have your Final Four? Because obviously with Michigan getting a win over Ohio State, that changes how far does Ohio State drop. How far does USC shoot up? How far does Tennessee shoot up? Because they bounce back.
I'll say this. I think Ohio State
heroin addicts in California will shoot up a lot. Anthony, in paying homage to Zach Wilson, there will be no mention of anything Utah on the show this week.
I think we'll never see Harbaugh in the NFL again. I don't know. I would never rule that out.
I never rule out.
Said that on the show many times. Mel, that Harbaugh needs to control people. He needs to be that Nick Saban type. That shit don't fly with NFL players. That shit don't fly. That's why John Calipari didn't work out in the NBA. He needs to control every minute of your day and what you do. And he just, that shit don't fly with NFL players. That's why Patrick Willis retired early. Who's the other one? The left tackle from Rutgers. Anthony Davis. They both retired early to get the fuck away from Harbaugh.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not saying that Okay, so we got evidence that Harbaugh could work in the NFL as a coach. The thing is that tenure that he had at San Francisco didn't last forever because eventually, kind of like what you're saying, Nick, just people get tired of that same, voice speaking the same way and trying to motivate them in that same type of different way where, players in the NFL aren't motivated by that rah-rah talk shit no more.
Listen, Bill Parcells would have a hard time succeeding in this day and era with these athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real. Parcells, even though people, would still run through walls for him, the way he went about it in the 70s and 80s and even into the 90s won't fly with today's athletes. They want to be embraced. They want to be coddled. They want their feelings hurt. I'm going through it now with the Jets players. They want to hear how good they are, even if you don't get a fucking target in the game. They want their bats packed and their balls rubbed.
My final four will go right.
If anybody is in a position to do that right now, it's Mr. Melvin Wall.
As he's in that handicap song, yeah. But no, if I were to go a rankings of the top four right now, I would actually put Michigan 1 because I thought that was a more impressive victory than what Georgia had.
But you know what I always say, though, Lamar? I always say, if you are the defending champion,
I hear you.
And nobody beats you, you can't relinquish number one. You should always be number one to somebody beat you.
And I understand that. But what Michigan has done with literally going into a very high pressure situation and not only win but dominate it. To me, I got to take into account on how impressive of a victory that was.
Well, I think that's the argument for not putting Ohio State that high when they drop. I think it was a close game. You can still put them like pretty high. But I think after getting blown out like that,
because to me they were number 2 going into that game, and the way they got dominated, they said at least between 6 and
7. It should be about 7.
I was thinking 7. I was going 6.
I think about 7.
Okay,
it's 7. It should be like, it should take a miracle for them to get into the playoffs. Put it that way. Where they land at, it shouldn't be like, some undefeated, like TCU lose, they in the playoffs. It shouldn't be like that. It should be
I think they need Tennessee to lose. They need Tennessee's season is done because they're not even in the SEC championship game.
Right.
But I think they need TCU to fall, and they better hope that Purdue can come up with a miracle to take down Michigan.
Right.
And hope that Utah takes care of USC. If those things happen, I think that's probably the only way Ohio State can sneak into the playoffs.
But Alabama is lurking around there. With 2 losses.
Yeah, but with 2 losses though,
it's still lurking around there, bro. It's Alabama.
I don't know if I'm feeling the 2 losses though.
If Georgia loses, say Georgia loses, I don't see LSU beating them, but say Georgia does lose, are you gonna drop them out of the top 4?
No.
There's nothing. Georgia loses 50-0, maybe. But you're not knocking Georgia out,
right? Okay. So we agree that Georgia will be with a 1 loss.
Unless you get blown out ridiculous.
Well, because here's my thing: I can't punish Georgia for losing so late in the season when they had such an immaculate season.
Hold on, let me finish the point because we gonna talk about Alabama, right? So Alabama right now, because we ain't got the official one out, but right now what they got out now, they got Alabama at 6.
Of course they do, because that's close enough to get them in, right?
Right. So you say if Georgia stays
if a couple of teams fall, yeah.
So Georgia loses, they go at least 4. Let's say 4. You put them 4.
Georgia,
right? Because they got to stay in that top 4 to stay in the playoffs. You keep them
they stay in top 4. Yeah.
They fall to 2, the lowest. Michigan would go to 1 if Michigan wins this weekend.
Nope.
Georgia goes to 2.
Okay.
1-2 is a lock. No matter what order you put it in, I think Georgia and Michigan are 1 and 2.
Okay.
They deserve it. The seasons they've had, the regular seasons they've had, they deserve to be the top 2 seeds.
So TSU lose, where you put them?
TCU.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, TCU lose, where you put them?
They're out.
They probably fall.
They're completely out. Okay, so now
I mean, you play a Big 12 schedule. I can't reward you playing a Big 12 schedule.
Okay, hold on,
where them themselves
so
struggled in a lot of those games.
That leaves Alabama and Ohio State in striking distance. Which 2 are you gonna put up in that top 4?
I mean, NCAA is going to pin in Alabama. But
well, I mean, USC. USC. They probably lose to Utah.
If USC beats Utah, USC is in before Alabama. You can't leapfrog Alabama over USC when they win their conference, and Alabama didn't even make the conference finals.
So we talking about one loss. Georgia goes down to 4. Michigan, if Michigan wins and USC wins, they stays in the top 3, and TCU loses. Who you put in that? You still got one slot left. Who you put in there between Ohio State?
I got to put Ohio
State doesn't have another game. If someone ahead of them loses, they can only go up, right?
So you won't.
Or if USC wins, you bump USC to 3, TCU out, and then it goes Michigan, Georgia 1-2. I've been there.
Yo.
Hey man,
I've been there.
I really like
it's so hard to say goodbye to my T-shirt.
Never thought that the poo-poo Haynes would take your Haynes.
But still,
when your butt goes kaboom and you lose the fruit of the loom.
That still leaves a slot open, and you got Ohio State and 2-loss Alabama in striking distance. Who do you put in there?
1-loss Ohio State in there before a 2-loss.
Well, Ohio State's at 4, or it comes out tonight, right? They're expecting.
Well, yeah, I'm saying as of now, because I don't know what it's going to be after the final one.
On Mondays.
Right. So right now they got. Last time I looked it up,
did they do it yesterday?
No, they do it Tuesdays.
They do it on Tuesdays, but they had they have something like a preliminary one they put out before the official one come out. So now,
that's more the AP though.
That's the AP poll. I'm going by that because that's all I have right now.
Yeah.
So if you use that as your measuring stick, they got Ohio State at 5 and Alabama at 6. So if TCU loses,
I say you go with the trend on how the AP has it. Ohio State ahead of Bama.
So you go ahead and push Ohio State back in it, even after that loss they had to Michigan.
That was the only bad thing that really happened for Ohio State this year.
Okay,
I'm
not disagreeing. I'm just asking just to see what your opinion is. More drama, man. Wheelchair.
You asked him to get you paper. You asked him to get you some paper.
He probably got some of that wheelchair.
That's your savior because no, listen to me, man. I got you on this. You tell him wherever you're at, they got to ask for paper because you can't get out of the stall till you get paper. And that's the only stall he can get into. So he's going to willingly help you.
No pun intended.
Say to him,
no pun intended, right.
Both of us right now, man. I need you to help both of us. You want in, I want out. We got to work together to do this.
Hey, but you might want to wait about 45 minutes before you go up in here,
Sorry if you're in a wheelchair. You're probably wearing a Depends.
Oh, wow.
What?
Right?
I don't know.
All people in a wheelchair wear Depends.
I can only imagine how hard it is walking and finding a bathroom when you have to go bed. If you're in a wheelchair, man, you got to wear Depends because you don't.
Already sitting down, just slide to the side.
I think CJ Stroud still gets invited, but he won't win it.
So do you think Caleb Williams is the shoe in for it?
Caleb Williams just shot himself up to the Heisman charts with that win over I don't want to say the win over Notre Dame solely puts him in there, but he's been having a fantastic season. But
so do you think, let me ask you this, do you think he would have had the same recognition if he stayed in Oklahoma and not go to USC?
There was no way he was staying in Oklahoma. Once Lincoln Riley left, that was the beginning of the end of his tenure in Oklahoma. So
Riley's at USC now, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't follow much West Coast.
He deliberately followed Lincoln Riley because
there are a few players with him though.
That's
well, because Caleb Williams is playing the long game. He's like, if I'm with this very prolific offensive coach in college football, he's going to highlight me. I'm going to get the highlights. I'm going to get seen. I might battle for national championships. I might get consideration for Heisman, but most importantly, he's going to get me to the next level. And so, right. I mean, I'm not mad at Caleb Williams for that. I mean,
I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him. I'm just asking out this food for thought,
Yeah, no, I think Caleb Williams is in that conversation now. Unfortunately, Hooker from Tennessee, the injury and the loss took him out of the consideration. Yeah,
I'm going to be completely honest with you two right now, and I think it's maybe because I'm high, and I think it's also maybe because I'm fascinated or infatuated with how often I have to use public restrooms. I'm not paying attention to a word you two say, and I'm literally just waiting on Melvin Wall's next fucking up. Like this is literally an episode of Martin going on right now.
Yeah, like play-by-play commentary. Yo, this is hilarious. Right. But no, I think the Heisman is. I mean, Caleb Williams is making a good push for it. C.J. Stroud, of course, had a good season. Didn't play particularly great against Michigan. I think that's the only game that he hasn't like shown that he's an all-star. So
I'll say this because I watch a lot of I watch a lot of Big Ten games. There's been a couple of games that Ohio State should have lost. Now you can argue both sides of the fence. You can say because Stroud picked it up in the second half, that's why they won. But at the same time, it was because he didn't play well is why he was behind. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, is he over Caleb Williams? Or does he, you know what I'm saying, because of that? Because Caleb Williams been pretty consistent. Huh?
Caleb Williams has another game, right? He's got the
Pac-12 championship.
Pac-12 championship. Touchdowns and wins a conference and gets them into a bowl.
Yeah, he's just shooting then.
While we're on the topic of
no.
Penn State offensive tackle Olu Fashanu, who would have been he's the number one rated offensive lineman for the 2023 draft, has decided to stay at Penn State for another year.
Oh wow! Must not need the money.
It must not.
I'm ranked high like that. I'm out.
Oh, I'm gone. I got to go get that bag.
For real.
But no,
Leatherwood.
It'll be it'll be interesting down the stretch. Obviously, this upcoming weekend is going to pretty much solidify the rankings because you got all the championship conference games going on this weekend,
right?
And so this won't be the last time we'll talk about the college football playoff rankings as well as the Heisman race. And so that was Saturday. I mean, Saturday was a big game. But then to give us the icing on the cake, to just give us this 4-day glorious days of football, man, we had some interesting games yesterday. Very interesting games yesterday on Sunday. I know Tom Brady and the Buccaneers tried to recreate some magic over in Germany.
Say that the right way. The loser, Tom Brady. He has a losing record. Tom Brady, the biggest loser.
Hey, man! I really don't know what to say with the Buccaneers. They just don't look like the same team that we've seen from the Buccaneers the last couple of years.
They do not at all.
I know injuries have happened.
They had the lead, man. Ain't let Cleveland come back tied up, going overtime and beat them.
They couldn't move the ball.
They haven't moved the ball at all this year. Period.
He sucks.
He
doesn't have an all-pro center. He doesn't have the all-pro guard. He just lost Wirfs. He doesn't have an elite defense anymore. He fucking sucks.
Hey, it's amazing how when things crumble around you, it shows how good you really are. But I mean,
here's to Tom Brady being a loser. I've waited 22 fucking years for this.
Tom Brady.
Oh, man, I just saw your name. Fuck you.
Winless and bitchless. Tom Brady.
But I mean, my look. Give kudos to Cleveland. I mean, the last game of Jacoby Brissett is going to probably start.
Look at the wheels turning.
I'm trying to see if I can edit his name.
I know. I see the wheels turning.
I clicked on the 3 dots and I was like, remove from stream, solo layout, mute, edit mic settings. And then I'm clicking on the fuck neck to see if I can edit it. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, what you saying, Lamar? But no, I mean, I'm just the Browns are happy because Jacoby Brissett, that was his last game as a starter, because Mr. Massage is coming back.
I thought that's what you and Mel called yourselves. Now we'll talk about Mike White in a minute. You can say the same thing about me.
Nah, I don't do no massages, but no, I
don't do massages.
Yeah.
I caught that. You mumbled it. You mumbled it as if like you didn't want anyone to know you were saying it. I don't do massages. My wife told me I have to say this. I don't do massages.
Gave him a prepared statement.
Yeah.
I don't do massages.
Hey, that memo is literally posted on the wall right there. So I just look at it and I get my
Buy
stem.
his keys at the front door. You
Yeah,
don't
it's
do
right there.
massages. Oh, that's good, baby. I don't do massages.
We don't do massages. Yeah, we don't do massages around here. But no. Let me ask you this, fellas. Is there any kind of conceivable way that Deshaun Watson turns this team around in the last few
I wouldn't even
weeks?
play him.
Oh, you're playing him.
I wouldn't. I mean, I understand why you say you would, but it's like I can't see him turn. Was it 7 games left?
6, but you want
6 games, yeah, because they just play, yeah.
System familiarity. You want to see what works for him and what doesn't. Like it's kind of like a test run. I don't think there's any way they can make the playoffs with 7 losses because I don't think the Bengals, the Jets are both going to lose 7 games. So I don't think there's any chance of playoffs, but you could see what you have going into next year. You could see what he does well. You could see what you're missing to go address to add to the offense.
Right.
There's many. You know what Jacoby Brissett is. Jacoby Brissett.
He showed you.
A standing quarterback who's not going to change your franchise. It's 4-7. So you know what you're going to get with Jacoby. You're going to get a guy who's capable of completing a high percentage of passes, but doesn't have that wow factor. Deshaun gives you that wow factor. You don't have your number 1 pick anyway. So it's not like you're going to tank and get a great receiver or another weapon for him. You know, you might as well win all the fucking games you can with him and get it rolling into next season.
Yeah, I mean, to me, there's no right or wrong way to answer to really use Deshaun Watson because I mean, unfortunately, Jacoby Brissett just wasn't good enough to keep the boat afloat. He just wasn't. I think you kind of had an idea of what the Browns could possibly do, but you know, it didn't help that they had a lot of.
Their defense kind of gave us some of the games too.
Yeah, they did, but that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? Because like
they got bit by the injury bug as well.
Nick Chubb had kept him in some of them games. Some of them games he had a lot of nice rushes. No, but it's just that defense didn't hold up.
That's fair. Buccaneers, season's done. Season's a wash.
Man, Brady need to go ahead and retire, bro.
No, they can still win the division.
You think they win the division? You said,
bro, look at that division. That division is
mathematically they're in the lead. They're 5-6, but they're in the division lead.
Yeah.
What's Atlanta? They lost that. They lost all that day.
They're 4-8, just like Carolina.
So Tampa Bay's 5-6, Atlanta's 5-7, Carolina's 4-8, and so is New Orleans. So
it's no guarantee.
2 Jets quarterbacks are undefeated this season: Sam Darnold and Mike White.
He's a Panther, sir. Sorry.
Yeah, I said former Jet quarterback.
Since you brought that up,
he's undefeated. He won yesterday, spanking the shit out of the dog.
Man, Russell Wilson.
I said Russ sucked. I never expected this. When I said Russ done,
horrible.
I didn't expect the worst in the NFL.
Horrible, bro.
Hey, bro, not that we're there since you transitioned to that. Look, I didn't expect Carolina to win that game. Hence the reason why I didn't.
Carolina expected to win that game.
Defense would win like 6-3.
Yeah,
but look, I gotta just say this, and damn it, Nathaniel Hackett didn't deserve that coaching job. He looks terrible. The whole trading for Russ and the boatload of talent and stuff that you gave away to get him was, first of all, was foolish. But then you take it to another degree by giving him a big contract without seeing how he interacts with your squad. You got a defensive tackle.
Is his dad Paul Hackett the one that Jets fans hated and was with Kansas City? Oh my god.
So
like Adam Gase.
and so then it gets worse. And I should have brought the clip up, but the defensive tackle Mike Purcell got in Russ's face. It was like, come the fuck on. You're like, come on. And you know what? That's a sign of frustration. He said it after the game. But guess what? That defense has been carrying that team like week in and week out. And you talking about before this year, I could have easily said that Russell Wilson was a shoo-in Hall of Famer. And he looks none of the sorts. He's absolutely
an MVP, right?
No, he's never even got a vote for MVP, man.
He hasn't deserved it.
But
I'm not saying to be a dick. I think he's been one of the most overhyped players. I
don't know about overhyped.
They've always been at their best when they were running the ball.
Yeah, but I'm saying Russell Wilson, he deserves some credit for being a good quarterback. He's been
good, but not Hall of Fame type.
No, I would put him in the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Now you're opening up the door to mediocrity.
I mean, that's fine. The door to mediocrity in the Hall of Fame has been open. There's cats in there that you look at their stats, you're like, how the hell you get in here? There's plenty of people in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. No. He'll get in.
No, he won't.
He'll get in.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
He'll get in. He might not get first ballot, but he'll get in.
Phillip Rivers gonna get in.
Why? What did he do to deserve to get in? Never won an MVP. Never went to a Super Bowl. He was just at the beginning of that.
And you don't think the Hall of Fame is full of people that ain't won shit?
That's all right. So that's all right, man. Take your time, man. Take your time.
Hold on. We gotta go into this now. And I'll make the argument why he's not. He came into the NFL in 2004 with Eli and Ben, and that was the beginning of the passing explosion. So he's one of those first guys that we're seeing that have those massive yardage numbers, but he's going to get passed tenfold, and he's going to be mediocre. And 15, 20 years from now, they're going to be like, how the fuck did they put that guy in the Hall of Fame? He sucked. I don't think there's any way Phillip Rivers
didn't suck. Phillip Rivers was a solid quarterback.
For quarterbacks usually need an MVP or a Super Bowl, if not multiple. Eli and Ben won multiple, and people are saying they might not be Hall of Famers. And they're only going to get in because they won the big game. Their numbers,
they're Hall of Famers. But I'm saying, like, if you look at numbers, I'm pretty sure Phillip Rivers' numbers would be up there comparable with Ben and Eli.
So you take Super Bowls away from Eli and Ben, all three don't deserve to get in.
I don't disagree with you on that, but
I mean, I'm not shitting on Eli. Eli has two of the best wins of my life. I hate the Patriots, so I never wanted to see them. But
no, but I'm saying
a good career quarterback. I think he's dead even at 500.
Shit ton of interceptions.
Never won an MVP. I mean, he's getting in on 2 games. Ben too. Ben never won an MVP, right? Did you ever look at that era with Breeze, with Brady, with Manning, and ever say that Ben maybe, but I don't think anyone ever put Eli or Rivers in the top 5 at any given time.
I have heard being in the top 5.
Ben may have squeaked the 5.
I mean, or not being. I heard Phillip Rivers being mentioned in top 5. I have.
Really?
Yeah, I have.
Hey, look.
In what, the AFC West? Sure.
You see, but you gotta remember, of course, me being an AFC viewer, I've seen a lot of Phillip Rivers, and the dude, he'll kill you if you don't put his team away.
Absolutely. So, but we got to admit,
Phillip Rivers
who could do that. Doesn't mean they're all Hall of Famers on any given Sunday.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, Nick, look at the grand scheme of how people are getting into the Hall of Fame nowadays.
But look at the Rivers position. Name the last couple quarterbacks to get in. Manning.
Of course, that's Manning. That's Peyton Manning.
Right. But multiple MVPs, multiple Super Bowls. You can't put Phillip Rivers in the same category as Peyton Manning.
I'm not saying they're the same
Hall of Fame together when they played the same generation together. You're saying they're peers, and they're nowhere near fucking peers.
All I'm saying is you look at how a Hall of Fame is set up and how they justify it, because it's voted on by writers. All right.
Yeah.
Writers are going to look at the body work of Phillip Rivers, and
it's not good enough.
I don't know. I've seen him put less people in, man. I have.
Oh, come on, Ant. Come on.
Here, perfect scenario for you. Phillip Rivers is Vinny Testaverde. Would throw a lot of interceptions, lose a lot of games, amass a lot of yardage, and some days he would light you up, throw 5 touchdowns, no picks, and beat a team they had no business beating. But it's the Hall of Fame, not the Hall of Mediocrity. And I think if you look at Testaverde from his era and Rivers in his era, nobody says those guys are Hall of Famers. I'm very surprised by you guys.
I mean,
I never say Testaverde is a Hall of Famer.
That's what I'm saying. Phillip Rivers is this generation's Testaverde.
I think he's better than Testaverde, man.
Yeah.
Even if he's slightly better, even if you put him a notch or 2 above, he's still not Hall of Fame worthy.
I don't know, man. I think he won't be a first ballot, but I think he'll get in.
You wouldn't even have enough fucking seats in Canton, Ohio, if Phillip Rivers had invited up his fucking You'd have to do that shit from the Grand Canyon to get us all.
Hey, that man got a lot of kids, dog. He got what, like 9 or 11?
You trying to guarantee?
Because that motherfucker has never had to throw in the towel. He has never had to throw that towel in, man.
Oh no, the only time he had the towel was to wipe up, bro.
He picks it legs up. That's sure every drop gets in.
Nah. He only uses a towel to wipe up. Like, thank you. But
wipe your tears with this, sweetheart. Another one.
But to get back on the Russell Wilson situation, man, this is that offense is putrid. It's a combination of bad coaching. It's a combination of bad play. Look, Hackett has to get blamed for just a terrible coaching job that he's done. And you know what? I think what mess. Well, go ahead, because I want to get off subject. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was talking about. I was looking at Ant's comment.
No,
I think Michael Vick
Hall of Fame
is
the Hall of Flash. Yes, Hall of Fame. No,
because his passing wasn't that great until he got older. But when he got older, he still he wasn't good enough to be an elite quarterback at the time.
Hey, the writers are gonna hold.
If he could have put both of those things together at his prime, he would be a Hall of Famer.
Okay, I'm gonna say it like this: if Michael Vick was being voted on solely based on his career, which it should be anyway, solely based on his career, I think he gets in because because his impact on the way that the game has shifted when he came into the NFL has to account for something. Was he an MVP? Was he a Super Bowl winner? No, but name a quarterback that literally captivated America and captivated the game of football the way he did when he entered the league. It's hard to find an impact like that. Based on
just are you discussing? So are you? So then, not you, but are we basing Hall of Fame on impact, popularity, or skill?
I think the writers take that into account. I think the writers always take impact into account.
Because I think the greatest discussion about Hall of Fame is Marino. He has no Super Bowl. But he was a great quarterback.
He was an elite passer.
He was an elite passer.
4,800 yards. Guys are throwing for 3,000.
Right, I'm saying, but
somebody throwing for 7,500 yards.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that because people always bring up Super Bowl wins. You know what I'm saying? But you
can't that elite MVP type of passer.
Go ahead. What'd you say, Lamar?
No, I'm just saying Dan Marino's on another level when it comes to quarterbacking. He's and I get your example of not having the Super Bowl accolades, and stuff like that, the individual accolades. I get that. Now, had Michael Vick had a career like that, I can easily say he was a shoe.
Michael Vick. So if Michael Vick won 2 Super Bowls, will he be a Hall of Famer?
Oh, easily.
Eli's not a Hall of Fame quarterback with his stats. Eli's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback because he won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, exactly.
But see, I don't think Super Bowls should get in. But here's my thing. My thing is like that don't to me skill should be more weight in Super Bowl because it's a team sport.
Agreed.
The quarterback is the only position that has the win and loss record.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Centers don't have a win and loss record. Running backs don't. It's Tom Brady's 14-2 in time. Mm-hmm. Kirk Cousins has never won a game in prime time in 10 years.
Right.
It goes on the quarterback in this league. Yeah, there's no way. Like you can't put guys in who were not elite at their position. You just cannot do it because now you're opening it up to a ton of other people.
I'll say this one more quick jab on the Michael Vick situation. And this is what I say, like when the writers take into certain accounts and not just career wise, they're gonna hold that dog fighting case against him, and for the fact that he spent 2 years.
I mean, they do Pete Rose same way, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's I don't know. I wish the NFL would come up with a more stricter criteria for the Hall of Fame.
It's the writers. It's not the NFL. The Hall of Fame is its own entity. It's
yeah. It's well, what I'm saying, like
it's similar is that the NFL writers vote on it. And Anthony Lamar won an MVP already. I don't think Lamar is an MVP passer or a Hall of Fame quarterback yet. but he won an MVP. So already he's a notch ahead of Vic, because Vic never did that.
Yeah.
And Randall Cunningham,
and Lamar still has a lot left to do too.
Who finished second 4 times in MVP voting.
Mm-hmm.
And back in the 80s, let's be real, there was probably some racism with those fucking votes because they wanted.
Oh no, don't say probably. There was. There was.
Go ahead.
Concrete, right? That could be thrown back at us later.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
When you're looking at that in the 80s, there were probably people who absolutely didn't vote for him or kept him off a ballot years to make sure he didn't win the MVP.
Just to make a point.
Randall Cunningham has a much better resume than Michael Vick.
I agree.
I'll give you that. No, no arguments for me on that.
Cunningham hasn't made it, and I think eventually he will. I think he'll be one of those.
Okay, now that's a shame that Randall Cunningham ain't in there already.
Great.
Now that's a shame because
Randall Cunningham, and you saw an outstanding passer. You saw an amazing athlete. The guy fucking punted 92 yards once at Giant Stadium.
Mm-hmm. Hey, but Nick, this takes my point about Michael Vick's impact of the game, because you look at how Vick impacted the game. You can easily say that Randall Cunningham did the same thing for Michael Vick.
Whenever people bring up Vick, I bring up Randall because I was more impressed with Randall's career.
But not only that, you can take the actual impact that Randall Cunningham had on the NFL and actually add it to the fact that he was a damn good passer.
Amazing. And he would have went to the Super Bowl if fucking Anderson could have made that.
Just made a field goal. Yeah. Mm-hmm. and so if you look at the body of work of Randall Cunningham's career, you're like, 100%. How is he not in the Hall of Fame? So to me,
now, but in the 80s, I was fascinated when the Eagles were on with watching Reggie and Brown and Simmons and Steph Joyner and Randall play quarterback. You know who they have? Keith Byers was running back. Yeah, 41. A fat motherfucker fumbled against Denver and the Jets.
No, but now look, I think that's a damn shame that Randall Cunningham isn't in the Hall of Fame. But
and Philip Rivers can't hold a torch to Randall Cunningham.
Oh no, no arguments there. But to get back to Sunday's action, Panthers get the win. Sam Darnold actually didn't look too bad. I'm just looking at the Broncos, man, a full mess. I understand that defensive tackle getting in Russell's face, like, yo, bro, like, come on, like you got 6 games left and y'all haven't figured out your offense. You're still only scoring 10 points.
And I just want to say something in terms of Sam Darnold, FJB, and that is not fuck Joe Biden. It is former Jet baby.
Oh Lord!
So a person passing will hurt a person to get into the Hall of Fame, like T.O.
So a person pass will hurt a player. Oh, they're passed.
Yeah. To a certain extent.
So whenever you leave things up to a vote, you leave it up to human interpretation. When there's not a set number of passing yards, wins, completion percentage, Super Bowl,
right?
Whenever you leave anything up to a human vote, Anthony, you are going to get a bias.
Human error. Yeah.
Terry Bradshaw got 4 Super Bowls, man.
Whether it's personal, whether it's things you've said against a certain group of people, no matter what instance you want to create, there are always people who will take offense to that, and they will
either like you or they don't.
Offenses, yeah.
They either like you or they don't. I mean, that's we can say whatever we want. It is in us as humans to human naturally think of and have biases over certain situations. It's just what it is.
1 second, Matt. 4 Super Bowls.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's what
Montana, Terry Bradshaw, and Tom Brady. They're the only 3 with 4. And 212 touchdowns back then is like the equivalent to like 480 now.
Yeah, back then, yeah, because that was more.
I get what you're saying, but 4 Super Bowls whites all that shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that also plays into account. Well, that's what I was getting at. When you got the steel curtain on the other side, that kind of helps your career. I mean,
and it goes back to the quarterback gets the credit, right? You never hear of.
Oh yeah.
You don't hear Mean Joe Green's.
Oh, okay, man.
You don't hear Mean Joe Green's winning percentage as a defensive tackle.
Oh no, I agree with you. All I'm saying is because this kind of goes back to the conversation me and Mel had a couple of weeks ago, which was a reoccurring conversation, because I've always laminated the fact that Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce both benefited in the situation that they're in. Tom Brady benefited for the situation he was always in. Terry Bradshaw benefited from the situation he was in. So that does help your resume if you had a Hall of Fame career or not, depending on your situation. If Terry Bradshaw not gone to the steel curtain, we probably not even talking about Terry Bradshaw as a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Because Marino had that defense.
Marino, yeah.
So, I mean, timing is everything.
Timing is everything. Say Marino went to San Francisco and Joe Montana went to Miami. We probably talking about a different situation.
Say if Michael Vick dug the dog bodies up off the property before the raid happened.
At the very least, he wouldn't be in jail.
Timing is everything.
Yeah, hey, definitely wouldn't be in jail. But like, what dogs? What you talking about? But no, let's get back to Sunday's action because we had a rematch.
Bill Cosby wasn't doing this when we woke up. So, hey,
we had a rematch. The number one seed last year in the AFC playoffs took on Joe Burrow in the Bengals. Rematch of that game. Bengals go down in Nashville, take care of business, 20-16 victory. Say what you want about the Bengals, man. They're starting to heat up, man. They are they're starting to get in the groove, and we gotta give them some credit. They're doing this without Jamar Chase. Yeah. They put up a good game yesterday without Jamar Chase and Joe Mixon, so you're down two of your top weapons, and the Bengals are still finding a way. So look. The Chiefs got the Bengals next week. I'm definitely making sure that the Chiefs are buttoned up for that game because Jamar Chase is more than likely probably going to be back. So, Bengals are I think it's in Cincy. So, it's that's definitely might be a game I might go against the Chiefs. But
I'm taking the Chiefs.
I don't know. The Bengals are playing good football at the right time. They're doing exactly what they did last year. They're getting hot. Literally at the back end of the schedule, and it's going to carry them into the to the playoffs because now you're going to get Mixon back, you're going to get Jamar Chase back. So the injuries that they've had have already gone and passed, and I think they're peaking at the right time. And Joe Burrow he's looking like the killer again, man. He's looking like the killer again. Say what you want.
Swag. I don't know if you saw the post game yesterday.
Oh yeah, he drippy now.
We got to win some of these ugly games, you know. He's like the NFL. There's a lot of good teams. We won 20-16. Not every game is going to be a blowout. Not everything's going to be an offensive explosion. There's going to be some games you just have to fight and battle and win and move on to the next battle.
Anthony,
they should do a side award show for sidekicks.
To answer your question, Anthony, he won't be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he'll get in because of the fact that we've laminated certain people that benefited from situations. He was part of that Patriots dynasty. He'll get in based on that fact. And I'll give Julian Edelman his credit. Was he the most stat-worthy receiver in the regular season? No. But the kid came clutch in big games and big games when it mattered.
You know what'll get him in?
What's that?
That catch against Atlanta?
Most catches in Super Bowl history.
Yep. That'll get him in.
Ask Jerry Rice in any record.
Yeah, that'll get you in. Oh yeah. And so let's
season resume is good enough, and the postseason resume will put him over the top.
Oh, his postseason resume is that of folktales. So his postseason resume can easily get him in just solely based off of that.
He's not a Hall of Fame wide receiver in terms of what you normally think of. Mm-hmm. He's a Hall of Fame NFL player. When you just look at, you know what I mean? He's not that elite.
He's just a footballer.
Calvin Johnson. He's not Jerry Rice.
No.
He's not.
He's a football player. He's a football player.
He was a guy who just played phenomenally on the biggest stage. And
here's my question, Nick. My question, Nick? Who gets in first? Him or Wes Welker?
Edelman.
Okay.
Welker never won a ring.
No, I'm with you.
He didn't win a ring with Brady. I'm sorry.
I'm with you. Okay.
They lost the year that.
Yeah, they did. I'm just saying because Wes Welker was like the beginning of the white slot football player. He was kind of like the mold. Okay, Wayne Corbett. I'm sorry, my bad. Sorry, my bad.
I would have got that.
Okay, my bad.
My bad. The YouTube channel.
My bad. But is it fair to say that Wes got a little bit more love than Wayne?
Oh, because they were winning, right? They went 18-0 with Randy Moss, and
So I mean, look, it is what it is.
I will say it for Matt. It's one of my favorite sayings in all sports. 18
and one
giant loss.
Let's get back to this.
I never give him love. That's as much love as I could ever give you, Matt. I hope you were fucking here to hear that. At least give me a thumbs up. Let me know you were. Otherwise, I got to do it again, and it won't be as authentic.
Word. Let's get back to yesterday's action. Miami held it down at home, 30-15 over Houston Texans. As you should.
They played Houston.
Well, okay, but I'm saying here's the storyline for Houston. Davis Mills didn't start. They pulled him. They put in Kyle Allen. Houston in the market for a quarterback next year. They're probably going to have the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, they are. They only got what, 1 win?
Yeah, 9-1.
Yeah, they probably in the market for a quarterback. If you pull in Davis Mills, who you supposed to be your future quarterback, and you pulling him, they're looking for Bryce next year.
Boy, I feel bad for Bryce Young going to that terrible franchise. Goodness.
They need 2. Well, I'm saying Pierce is a good running back. I give him that.
Oh, I love Damian Pierce.
I think Pierce is a good running back, but they still need a lot of pieces though. Special offense.
If Damian Pierce went on the Houston Texans, he might have a lot of chatter of him being offensive rookie of the year if he wasn't on the Texans.
I agree.
Because of the fact that he's on the Texans at a 9-1 record, he more likely than not will not get offensive rookie of the year. But but going over to the Dolphins side, look, there's one thing that scares me with the Dolphins. Teron Armstead probably going to be out for the rest of the season. And then if you could have seen the highlights of the game, the Dolphins were controlling the line of scrimmage, and then when Armstead went down, Tua started getting touched, and that scares me because one, we already know about the medical history with Tua,
right?
And so and especially this year with the concussions, and that's not even adding the hips and the ankles and the knees that he's had surgery on. So that scares me a little bit. But I will give Miami the credit. Hey, you supposed to beat the teams you're supposed to. They've had some good comeback wins against like the Ravens. They've had some good moments this year. Tyreek Hill more than likely is going to break all type of receiving yardage records this year. The offense is explosive. The defense is doing barely enough to keep them, in games and hold off the opponent. But hey, they're playing in a real tough division. I mean, that whole division is tough right now. Patriots, Bills, and Jets.
Sincere.
Looking at the Jaguars win a game and this motherfucker shows up now.
We're watching Green Bay next year.
What's up, Sincere? Welcome back, bro. If I'm Lovey, I have a very hard time passing up on Will Anderson if I have the number 1 pick. In a league where you have to get after the quarterback, and don't forget, you got 2 number 1s this year, and you got 2 number 1s next year. I have a very, very hard time passing on Will Anderson in a league where you need those. You look what T.J. Watt does for the Pittsburgh Steelers when he plays and when he's out.
It's
Will
different.
Anderson is going to be that type of player, in my opinion. He's going to be very quickly in the Bosa, Garrett, Watt, Parsons game record mold. I think Lovey, that conversation I would love to be a part of or just listen in on and hear what they think about taking a quarterback who might not work out versus Will Anderson. Knowing that you have a pick around 10 or 12 where you can maybe trade up and get
Put the weed down, Sincere. Put the weed down. Put the weed down.
That's meth. He ain't Duval County. Meth.
How are you winning it when the Jets are winning it? What are you talking about?
Super Bowl champs next year. Nah, Sincere. Nah.
Drugs are bad, okay?
But we'll talk about it in a second. But no, I hear what you're saying. Oh, look, Will Anderson is going to make Lovey Smith's sativa. He's going to make.
You know, I'm a big Chase Young fan, man. But I'm curious to see how he comes back from this injury. Rumor is he's playing Sunday, right?
Well, last time I heard, he was getting real close to coming back. I didn't know how soon.
Wait one more week.
Yeah.
We think we can beat Atlanta without him. We'll wait one more week and then hopefully have him a little more strong.
It gets a more because they got a couple of more divisional games coming up. I think against Giants and Cowboys.
Yeah, Anthony and Matt going to be dueling in the chat.
Yeah, but no, I agree with you. It's going to be hard to pass up Will Anderson, knowing because he's a generational type of pass rush, and of course,
exactly
Lovie Smith.
What you need. He's exactly what you got. You got Stingley already. You go get an edge rusher.
Yeah, and Lovie Smith being a defensive guy, he's going to make a case to make sure, hey, fuck that.
And the reason I think they go, Will, not to get too much into draft now, but the reason I think they can do it is because with the Browns, I think they still have a second top 10 pick right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you can then take your second round pick and move up a couple spots if one of the quarterbacks you like falls, and you end up with 2 top 10 picks, Will Anderson and the quarterback.
Well, see, that's the beauty of next year. It's going to be probably one of the most deepest classes in quarterbacks I think it's been in a long time. So it's not like you got to, have to go up and be in the top 5 pick to go get you one of those quarterbacks. I think you can, well, hell, they found Davis Mills in the 3rd round because they didn't have 2 picks that year when they took Davis Mills. They didn't have a first or a second.
That's not a good brag.
Well, no, well, I get what you're saying. I'm not saying Davis Mills is like, oh my gosh, he's the guy. But
about what?
No, I don't know what Matt's talking about. I'm just saying, like, as in, like, with Houston. Man, there's so many holes.
There's a lot of holes, man.
Which one do you address first? Which one do you absolutely address first?
When you have that many needs, you take the best player available, and then you figure out the rest later. You get Will Anderson, you take Will Anderson.
Yeah, I hear you.
You trade up to get a quarterback, and then you don't have the pressure of taking the number 1 quarterback and making that decision, right? Maybe a guy you like equally as much as the 3rd quarterback, so you take that chance and you roll with him. Like if you come out of that draft with the Texans, you come out with Hooker or Levin and Will Anderson.
You're good.
That's a fucking win draft.
Yeah.
Because then you can play Mills a little bit until the quarterback's ready. There's no pressure to put the quarterback in there right away.
No pressure to put it, or no need to put the quarterback on the field right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can ride with Mills until your roster improves another year, and then you bring him in. Because in the following year, you go take an offensive lineman and a weapon. And now you're good enough to roll and compete. Yeah. But you got to be playing the long game. And the thing I'm afraid of for Lovie is he's the lame duck coach, right?
And he won't get enough time. He won't get enough time to fix it.
Yeah. Well, as soon as they start to get talent in, they'll be like, "Oh, we're going to bring in a big offensive coach now for the young quarterback."
Yeah.
But meanwhile, you throw Lovie and fired him for shit that was out of his control.
Way out of his control.
You got rid of David Johnson, you got rid of Hopkins, you got rid of J.J. Watt, you got rid of Deshaun, and then you expected Lovie to win? What the fuck is that?
Well, I mean, it was fucked up when what's his name? The guy before him,
Cliff Chin.
No,
David Kuthi.
Oh yeah.
David Culley.
Yeah.
He wasn't even in the best position at all, and they gave him 1 year and gave him the ball.
They competed for him too.
Well, they competed for him, but I mean, obviously the wins are going to come because they don't have the talent to match up against other teams in the NFL. But let's move on. Falcons, Commanders. Commanders get the dub 19-13 as Anthony's been able to actually show his face and talk football the last few weeks because the Washington Commandos have actually now are at 7-5. Yeah, whatever, motherfucker.
We went from being hater to a lover real quick on this shit. They talk football. Yo, man, I love
that shit. Hey, say what you want. Hey, you know what's crazy, Nick? The way that the Washington team is playing, they're straight up reminding me of what they did in 2020 when they went on that playoff run. It's like they're playing tough. They've had a couple of miscues throughout the season, a little bumpy roller coaster ride. But what they're doing now is, and this is what's amazing, that front four is finally getting it back to what they were doing in 2000.
And they're an A1 dog.
They're getting after the quarterback, and they're doing it without Chase Young. And so it makes the rest of the defense job easier is because you don't have to send 5, 6 to go get the quarterback. Send 4, getting the pressure, and they're doing enough. And say what you want, Heineke. Hey, they're rallying around him. Say what you want. They're playing for him. I can't explain it. They are playing for Taylor Heineke. He's not your Dan Marino. He's not your Peyton Manning. He's none of these guys. But damn it, he's
better
doing
than Carson.
He's thank you.
That's better than Carson.
There's nothing else to be saying.
I want to add to this comment because not only are all 4 NFC East teams in the playoffs, all 4 AFC East teams are above 500. No, Patriots aren't because those bags of shit don't deserve to be with the other 17. But it's amazing that with 8 teams in the East between the 2 conferences, not a single one of them is 500 or below. They're all above 500. And what we thought the AFC West would be, the AFC East and NFC East have ended up being.
Fair point. Fair point. But no, got to give credit to the Commanders. There was a point in time I'm like, come on, man. There's
a fucking Pistons logo on the screen?
Yeah. Like, there was a point in time I'm like, man, watch this. Golly, man, y'all getting dusted in that division like everybody else. Even the Giants are better than y'all.
What they win, 3 or 4 in a row?
I think they won 4 out of the last 5. Yeah. No, they're rallying around Heineke, man. Say what you want. Are they the most talented roster?
I like that kid. I say it repeatedly. I like that kid. He's got an it factor. He's got that Derek Jeter thing that you can't put your finger on, but when you see him play, you know you're watching something out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I can't explain it.
I don't like Anthony, but I like him. So.
5 in a row. Yeah, Anthony says 5 in a row.
They were 5. They were down.
I'm also looking at the Falcons, and me and Mel talked about it, or was it me and you, Nick? Go find what you got in Desmond Ridder. Yeah. Look, I know you are technically still in the race to get into the playoffs because of how trash the division is, but you're limited.
He shows some flashes of greatness. He can do what Mariota can do and plus more.
I think so too.
He can run just like Mariota can, but he has a better arm and probably a lot more accurate. You just need that time to get implemented into the offense and into the speed of the game. I think you got more upside with playing him.
So let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Does Atlanta have a chance to win the NFC South?
Yeah. The way Tampa Bay playing, I don't see it.
Already sucks. And he just lost Tristan Wirfs, so he's going to have even less time to throw.
Yeah, and Tampa Bay can't put points up, man.
So many holding penalties the refs can look past before they have to start fucking throwing them.
Bro, here's a stat for y'all. Did y'all know that the Tampa Bay offense is down there with the Broncos offense, as in one of the most putrid, can't score offenses in the league right now?
I know more about the teams that I hate and the players that I hate than I know more about the team I love. So, yeah.
So you got the Broncos, Rams, and the Buccaneers at the bottom of one of the worst offenses in the league right now. There's no way I never would have thought that Tom Brady would be at the bottom of that list, but here he is. You love it.
That's why I say you always go out on top. So know what people gonna remember about Tom Brady now this year?
I mean, Tom Brady only has to quarterback till he's 62 and never win a game again to break 500 for his career. So,
let's go to some other games. What are we thinking of this Jaguars and Ravens game? What a hell of a game, 28-27.
I think say more about Baltimore than it does about Jags.
Lamar.
Jack's been doing this all year.
Cardiac
kid.
Right?
Go ahead, Nick. What you saying?
Cardiac kid football. Like they compete a lot right till the end, and it's either bad or good.
Right.
But to quote Lamar, he can go eat a dick. You saw that tweet?
Bro.
You saw the comment that he made? That's why
no. I saw the tweet, and then of course he was told to take it down, and he obliged. And here's my thing with the Ravens.
Screenshots live forever.
Yeah, they do. Look, the Ravens have found a way to not finish games this year. And as talented as they are and as good as they can be, that's going to be their downfall if they make it to the playoffs. I think they still make it to the playoffs. That's what's going to get them booted because they have yet to play an all 4 quarters football game and put teams out when you got the lead. But with that being said, hey, man, Trevor Lawrence looked like sunshine, like he was back in Clemson days yesterday, the way he was throwing that rock. Maybe I had higher expectations because he was actually around a competent coach this year with Doug Peterson. Hey, it's their first year. There's some bumps, there's some bruises, some learning curves that they gotta still iron out. But you kind of seen flashes and you've seen some regression at the same time with Trevor Lawrence. But I'm not gonna hold it too hard against him because, hey, this man got to flesh out a whole year of bad football with Urban Meyer. And so I'm not going to hold that against Trevor Lawrence too bad. But I see the flashes. I'm like, all right, there's that guy that everybody was raving about with Trevor Lawrence.
Let me ask you this.
And yesterday's game was that. Yesterday's game was that. They'd be like, okay.
I've always said you need a year and a half of starts in the NFL before you really know what you're going to be as a quarterback. And you're starting to see now, Trevor, and like you said, the first year was Urban Meyer, coaches get fired. You're starting to see with Peterson what he's going to be, and he's going to be very good. He's going to have a good. Just they get Calvin Ridley next year, which will be very helpful for him.
That was a good under the wire trade, and nobody paid attention.
You know, you're betting on your future for your quarterback, so why not get a Pro Bowl type of receiver on the cheap? Atlanta want to wipe their hands in that situation. Yeah, what was it, a fucking 6th, conditional 5th or some shit? It was hurt. You're not finding that talent in the 6th round. You make that trade in the 2nd.
Not at all. But no, I think the Ravens, they got to figure out what they're gonna do. Mel, you had a question. You was about to ask. Go ahead.
I saw that Travis Etienne got hurt. Is there a pattern going on? Is there a pattern with Etienne?
They could have brought him back in the game. He wanted to come back in the game, and I believe coach made a decision to keep him out, make sure he's healthy going forward.
As they should. I mean,
that seems more like it was a coach's decision not to return, and he was willing to, from everything I heard this morning on the network.
Well, the reason why they should hold him out is because, look, you already made the decision that he's your running back for the future. Anytime you trade away a guy like James Robinson, who in the Jaguars uniform had consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, and you move him, and you're putting all your chips on Travis Etienne. So you want him around for the rest of the season to make sure, and not just this season, you want him around healthy for the majority of a career. So you're talking about at least we want a good solid 8-9 years out of you. Then, so I understand. But Baltimore got to figure out what they're going to do with this defense.
The secondary is not that great.
Man, the secondary is just absolutely putrid.
I like Humphreys. That's it. No, Peterson okay, but
we know you like the hum for free. We know.
Okay,
that's it, man. That's it. Who else can you really pinpoint to say, okay, I can depend on them all the time, every game?
Well, I think what it is that the general manager of Baltimore has invested in the front four, invested in the linebackers. I mean,
they wouldn't get no pressure.
But I'm saying, look at all the names that they got on the front seven, and then you look at the names you got on the back end. They're investing majority of their money in the front seven and not as much as they should on the back four.
Oh, I agree with you. I'm saying, but even with that investment, where's the payoff? Where's the payoff from it? That last drive, there was no pressure put on Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, I will say a couple of times Lawrence got the ball out quick, but it wasn't a lot of pressure on him either.
I hear you. To really answer your question, you look at them bringing in Roquan Smith. Justin Houston has revived his career and had crazy sacks the last few weeks. You're looking at an older Calais Campbell. He's still productive, but older. To me, the pass rush of the Ravens went down the moment they let Matthew Judon walk out the door. So
I never understood that.
That's kind of on the Ravens for not actually making sure that they kept the actual elite pass rusher,
their offensive line, and Lamar.
Say that one more time, Nick.
That's because they couldn't pay him, that offensive line, and Lamar.
Yeah, but the only person that they've been
cheap too.
Yeah, but I'm saying the only person that they've mainly been paying on that offensive line is Ronnie Stanley, and he can't stay on the field. So to me, there's nothing wrong with making sure you invest in your offensive line, have money cap space available when you want to and decide to pay Lamar, which we'll talk about that in a second. But you bring in Justin Houston, you bring in Roquan Smith, you draft Patrick Queen, you got all your talent in your front seven, but your back four is just getting blown the fuck up every week, and that's the reason why you didn't lost 4 or 5 games when you led in them. It's because you can't stop nobody, you can't hold nobody, and Trevor Lawrence was just a proof of the pudding. Like, yeah. Let's see, I'm rehabilitating from Urban Meyer, and I'm still whipping y'all ass. so I mean, to me, they have to address that, but we got to address the elephant in the room.
They got to figure out how to score.
I always like the new day. I always love the new quarterback. You know what I mean? I love watching the new guy on the block beat the established guy.
But the Ravens got an issue though, because. Obviously, you got to invest some money in your secondary, but you got to address the elephant in the room first.
Well, I mean, they drafted Kyle Hamilton this year. He's a rookie.
Yeah.
Brought in who's it that they got? They brought another guy next to him.
Well, Lindenbaum?
No.
They brought him on the offensive line.
The other safety. It was Hamilton, and they have another safety, a big name.
I can't remember.
Yeah, me neither. Can't be that big. That's what she said. Yeah, I forget. Oh, the kid from the Saints.
Marcus Williams.
Oh, yeah.
He's already been out for the rest of the year.
Halfway. I mean, they tried to address the secondary, right? They drafted Hamilton. They paid big money for Williams, so they tried.
Yeah, and keep trying. it ain't. But I'm saying, I
want to see them get good. I'm fine with them being.
Oh no, I'm fine with it neither, because that's one less team in the row for our respective teams. I get you, but still, you're looking at the Ravens, where how exactly are you going to improve when you still haven't addressed the situation with Lamar Jackson first? And I mean, we talked about this millions of times. I don't know the actual final number figure that they're going to offer him. Either way, it's
as long as you wait, the higher it get.
Yeah, I because today's price ain't yesterday's price, and yesterday's price ain't today's price. So I mean,
and you're not having an Aaron Judge season.
No, he
right.
Well, I'll say this:
you bet on yourself, but you're not doing what Aaron Judge did.
I'll say this: Lamar Jackson, the first month of the season was having an MVP season. Mm-hmm. Then he started slowing down. Injuries happened with the squad. Then a little bit more weight was put on his shoulders. But here's my biggest issue with how the Ravens are constructed, and we talked about this many times. When they get to the red zone, the reason why they struggle is because they're easy to defend. Find 89. Find Mark Andrews. Mm-hmm. Double him, shut him down, and more times than not, you're going to stop the Ravens in the red zone, because that's been the only offensive threat that the Ravens have had. We've said this a million times. You have to get Lamar Jackson a viable, legitimate threat at the wide receiver position.
You can't keep putting band-aids on him. I mean, you got Deshaun Jackson, but what are you going to do?
One
play. Really? He'll give you one play here and there. That's all he's going to do. I'm just saying.
Jackson,
I'm just saying. They brought him in
agreement with you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, but he's going to give you one play here and there. It's not going to be a consistent thing. Like that one throw he did yesterday.
That was it.
Great. That was a great throw. Great play.
But that was it. But leading up to that play, did you hear anything of Deshaun Jackson?
When he caught the ball, he was like, "Oh yeah, they do have him." That's how bad it was.
But that's why I'm agreeing with you, Mel. Before that deep catch that Deshaun Jackson caught, did you hear anything about Lamar of Deshaun Jackson?
No.
After
That's
that
the
catch,
problem.
did you hear anything about Deshaun Jackson? So, okay, take that 1 or 2 great splash plays from Deshaun Jackson. You're still stuck in the same boat. You're not scoring in the red zone. It's because you have no viable threat at wide receiver position. You know what I'm saying? And Matt, I like Devin Duvernay, but he's not a legitimate threat at wide receiver. Right now, he's still proven to be a gadget player. Great kick returner, great punt returner. He could make some plays here and there at the wide receiver position, but he's
the game plan all the time, though, Ant. But yeah, you're right. Right, Lamar.
Yeah. To me, the Ravens have failed themselves by not giving Lamar Jackson viable threats. They had 1,000-yard receiver last year in Marquise Brown, and you trade him away. How does that help the growth and the progression of Lamar Jackson?
But then they didn't use him effectively when they had him.
Now, I hear
he kept throwing to Andrews.
Yeah. And so I'm not.
Is that Lamar? I mean, is that game planning wise? You know what I'm saying? I think those are the things they need to address, is how get Lamar to spread the ball around more than just targeting 1 or 2 people, or really one person and everybody else afterwards.
Well, that's why I think it's a conundrum, is because I think the Ravens haven't done enough to give him the proper pieces or put Lamar Jackson in the proper place. And sometimes they're just like, oh, it's Lamar Jackson. He's a magician. He'll find a way to get out of it. And sometimes you can't have that train of thought. But
it's good for the regular season, but it's not good.
Yeah, it's good. Oh, and that's why you see his postseason success not as great as the Patrick Mahomes, as the Josh Allen, or the Brady, or the Rodgers. He doesn't. When you come so easy to defend once you get to the red zone, I mean, if I can keep you out the end zone, I'm more times than not, I got a chance to win the game. You're not scoring. You got a Hall of Fame kicker. Yeah, he's Hall of Fame.
You really got to bring that up 1 week after that Jet loss to New England.
But I'm just saying, he's a Hall of Fame kicker because the team can't. Because he did the same thing that Cam did. If I can pass
on the block, they didn't know how to stop it. It was flashy. It was new. It was different.
Yeah. But he I can't down him. He did throw for 35 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and he ran for another, I think, 10 or 11 touchdowns. Yeah. So I mean, the numbers were there. The numbers were there. The only problem is like Mel said, regular season success don't translate to postseason success.
No,
it never does. And when you have a team that can easily be defended in the red zone and you can keep them out the end zone, you always give your team a chance to win.
Right.
Baltimore is not finding ways to close the game out. And I think it's a multitude of things. Don't have the proper weapons, funny play calling. But at the same time, as much as I like Lamar, he deserves some accountability in this too, because there's some plays where he's holding the ball too long, trying to play magician and wait for a player to get open, or he'll have a bad turnover at the wrong time of the game in clutch time. Mm-hmm. Like the game against Buffalo. Threw an interception in the end zone, red zone interception, and had no reason to throw it. Had no reason to even go for it on 4th down. They were leading, and next you know, you lose the game. I just think there's a whole bunch of flaws with Baltimore, and it just doesn't start and end with Lamar Jackson. I think it's fundamentally from the top to the bottom. But we'll move on. I know the big homie Nick is excited to talk about this because he is Jets. Jets. Rack up another win.
I don't think so, Ant.
Rack up another win. So you're not jumping on the Mike White train like you did last year, big homie? You're not ready to
I learned from last year. I learned that he can come out in one game against a bad defense, light them up, and then lay a massive egg and throw 4 picks against Buffalo. So I need to see more before I get too excited.
Okay.
When you come in as a quarterback and the other team don't know what you're about, you're capable of putting up a decent game on them. The good ones in this league are able to do it week in and week out when you know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not overly excited. I thought Zach would have won the game as well.
Oh yeah, I thought so too. So, but let's stay right there.
Why they take him out? You can't, when you lose the locker room.
Okay.
You can't play.
Yeah, and I was about to ask you that. So, because I wanted to get your thoughts on, did you agree with Robert pulling him? Did you not? I mean, because I'm in the same boat as you. I thought because it's the Bears defense, I think Zach Wilson could have won that game.
Yeah, Anthony, the team played better, but they also played horrible competition. Zach only lost 2 games this year, and they're both to Bill Belichick, who, newsflash, has a top 5 defense. So Zach was 5-0 against other teams, not coached by Bill Belichick. They would have won yesterday with him as well. But yes, let me. Zach's mechanics are wrong. Yes, it's affected his mentality. Yes, it affected his post-game interview. All right, get your shit right. That's all. I can't get excited about Mike White long term. The Bears were missing Jaquan Brisker, the rookie stud safety.
Jackson went out ass off.
Yeah, Jackson went out in the game. If he doesn't break his foot, he makes that tackle on Garrett Wilson.
Fields doesn't even play.
Fields doesn't play. I'm not gonna do what Jets fans have done the entire year, and that's over fucking hype every little thing or the end of the world for every little thing. Okay. I'm taking a wait and see approach. I got to see more from Mike White before I go nuts on Mike White, because we did it last year and we were the joke of the NFL for doing it.
Yeah, and that's why I asked, because I said this to CJ. I said this to CJ, went on his podcast and left the comment, and I've always thought that the Jets were a good team, and I'm starting to see an anchor trend from Zach Wilson. And I
think he's done. When you lose the locker room.
Oh, you think he's done?
I think he's done as a Jet. I think when you lose the locker room and you lose the team, I think the best thing because the worst thing the organization can do is go and say we're going to go back to him, and the players don't want it, because now you lose the locker room as a coach and as a GM. When you make this move, and you made the move for the reason that you made it, I think
you got to stick with it.
Unless there's massive injuries, I do not see Zach Wilson playing quarterback for the New York Jets again.
Oh, you're saying never again?
I'm saying done.
Oh, wow.
You move on. You cut ties and you go on to bigger and better things as an organization and as a player. Okay. I think it's completely done.
Okay, so let me ask you
this. I'd be shocked. I would be absolutely jaw on the table. You know my Brian Griffin, I always do the jaw drop on table. Yeah. I would do that if Zach Wilson ever starts another game for the Jets.
So let me ask you this: you move on for a guy that you drafted in top 3 pick, second overall, 2 years ago?
Yeah. What's your because of the play?
No. I get that. I get that.
Mental fixable.
Oh yeah.
Because the players don't believe in him, and when the players don't believe in a guy that has a C on his chest, you can't put him out there. You can't. Okay. You'll lose the locker room. You'll lose the team. Players will want out. Players want it out already. Elijah Moore wanted out already.
And yeah, so he did.
I think it's a lost cause. I think Zach buried himself with this. I really do. And especially the New York media, and I will say this, the retarded New York fan base. Yeah. They will drive Zach out of here. Zach goes to play, he'll get booed. They'll fuck with the kid's head. I think it's just better cut ties and go separate ways.
Wow. Let me ask you this. If you're going the route of moving on from Zach Wilson, what's your options that you think would be viable at quarterback? Do you stick with Mike White until you find a draft another one? Because here's my deal. When the trend lately with the Jets, every time you guys have drafted a quarterback, it just hasn't panned out. To me, this might be the time that you go and get a viable veteran that's been around, can play the game, and you can easily insert him into that locker room and just see what happens.
Jimmy G, Gardner Minshew. What's some other names that were kicked around?
I was actually fine if you just stuck with Jimmy G and Gardner.
Yeah. I think it. Listen, Mike White's got a lot to prove. Mike White goes out and wins one of these 2 games against Minnesota and Buffalo. I believe it's his for the rest of the season.
Matt Smith is Smitty. He should trade for Trey Lance.
Wow. The Drew Brees one before
it. Yeah, I saw that one too.
Wow, he can't throw in the cold. And I was really down in the dumps about it yesterday, and I got bitter with a lot of Jets fans about Mike White because I was just so frustrated about the fact that we have to hit the reset button again on a quarterback. Now, don't get me wrong, Joe Douglas has been an outstanding general manager, and he deserves to go for another pick if he wants to draft one or sign one. He has every right to get another shot at it at quarterback.
Yeah, I think Joe Douglas has done enough and had enough cachet to be given that chance, and just based off the fact of how quick this turnaround that he has just going on, I think he has that cachet to do it. But that's an interesting take because I didn't think of it that way. I was more thinking like, hey, let's bench Zach Wilson for the rest of the season so he can mentally get out of his own fucking head and quit with because I said it to you last week when me and you talked. I'm seeing more Baker Mayfield and more Johnny Manziel from Zach Wilson than what I'm getting production-wise.
Yeah. If you look at the film, and there's a lot of Jets content creators who've broken down, the footwork's off.
Yeah,
the arm is off. The elbow's dipping. And when the elbow dips, the ball sails and goes high, and he's missing a lot of things high. His footwork is wrong, which puts his arm in a bad mechanical position to throw.
Because he's trying to throw off his back foot. Yeah. That's why. All right, let's call it what it is. He's trying to be.
But if the footwork's right, you're not doing that. If the
exactly.
Squared up.
Exactly. I'm with you.
Very rarely you see him throwing from the side. He's backing up, square like this, just popping with the arm. And when you get your hand underneath, it fucking sells.
So let me ask you this: Do you bring in an offensive-minded coach next year and maybe revive Zach Wilson, or you're sticking with just go ahead and move on?
You're not changing the head coach. Hell no.
No. I'm not saying you change Robert Saleh. That's ridiculous. I'm saying, do you bring in a high prolific offensive coordinator, or offensive mind guy, a quarterback guy, and help?
You saw yesterday, LaFleur's system works. Yeah, remember, we're missing Breece Hall. We're missing Elijah Vera Tucker, our best offensive lineman. We lost our identity, losing both of them 5 plays apart in the Denver game.
I get that, but let's not act like this mediocre play, and sometimes less than mediocre play from Zach Wilson wasn't because of these injuries. That's kind of been him.
No, but we lost our identity as an offense.
I got you.
Our identity was run the ball.
Okay, I feel you on that.
Our 2 teams are going to the Super Bowl. I don't know who this is. 49ers in the NFC. And right now, I would take the Chiefs.
Yeah, 49ers look good. 49ers look damn good.
I don't believe in anything else in the NFC besides the 49ers.
Let's go Chargers and Cardinals. Chargers get the late game victory, going for 25-24 over the Cardinals.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know. I don't know what to really say about the Cardinals. I think there's a disconnect between Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury. Obviously, you already paid Kyler Murray, so I think Cliff Kingsbury is on the hot seat more than anything.
Yes.
I think they're definitely on the hot seat.
So I think the Eagles are more serious than Dallas. Yeah, I don't think Dallas is anything.
Well, I mean, seeing as that Philly already beat Dallas and they toyed with them and didn't put them away, Dallas only got back in that game because Philly kind of let off the gas. Philly's just a better team because
the championship's going to be Philly and 49ers.
Yes, I agree with you on that.
No one else in that conference is a legitimate threat to anything.
I agree with you on that.
They're just a legitimate threat because of the weak schedules and the down years that everyone else is having.
No doubt. Chargers still kind of look. I know they get the win, but they,
they're in it. They're 6-4.
Yeah. But here's the thing. They're only beating like these lower tier teams on both conferences.
6-5.
Yeah, they're 6-5, but they're beating teams like Arizona. They're beating teams like Cleveland. They're beating, teams that are at the lower half of their conference. You know what I'm saying? They play 49ers, a good team. They lose.
I can talk to you all week. I'm pissed off at your Chiefs.
Oh, because they covered the spread. It was a 15.5.
Not against the Chargers. It was 5.5.
Oh, you talking about against the Chargers? Oh, that's last week. Yeah.
Dude, I had an 8-leg parlay, and a buddy of mine came over. and was like, I'll put in 25, you put in 25. Let's put in a bet. We had a $25 8-leg or $50 8-leg parlay to win $3,700. I hit every fucking leg except Chiefs winning by 5.5. They only won by 3. Screenshot and send it to you. I hit everything but that. I hit every fucking over on Kelsey anytime touchdown, Eckler anytime touchdown, Mahomes over 295.5. I hit everything, and I was like, we need the Chiefs to walk it off with a touchdown.
Yeah,
they didn't do it.
But here's the thing with the Chargers and what scared me. You're beating the Raiders, okay? You're beating the Texans. You're beating the Browns. Beating the Broncos, which you got to go to double overtime for. You're beating the Falcons. You're beating the Cardinals. Like, you're beating up on these sorry-ass teams at the bottom of the division. Yeah. And I think that's always been kind of the theme with them is a lot of injuries, got a lot of talent, but they can't beat the talented teams, and they beat these less than middle of the road average teams, and they bulk up on regular season wins and don't even make the playoffs. So I mean, that's to me. I just think the Chargers, man. I really don't know how to fix there. But one thing I would address: get you a whole new medical staff, because they go through injuries like left and right, year in and year out. Fix that. They need to fix that.
Matt, got a question for you.
What's up with the pick'em? Yeah, Matt, we know you're in the lead. Come on.
Really.
Yeah, he got a 10-game lead on everybody.
No, what site are you paying for your picks?
I was waiting for him to type it too.
You're doing well, Matt. You're doing very well, man. Even weeks I feel I have a good week, I fucking tie them.
Yeah,
I can't be in the ground.
Raiders and Seahawks going to overtime. Good game by Josh Jacobs. He had a hell of a game yesterday.
Yeah.
My opponent in
how about the 12th man?
Which one?
You didn't see the 12th man on Seattle?
Oh, you talking about the fans?
No, Seattle got an interception early. Derek Carr's first interception, and when the guy caught it, like, he stumbled to the ground. And you know now, what do they do when there's an interception? All these idiots on the sideline who had nothing to do with it come running out.
Yeah.
Go run and return it. And the guy on the sideline popped out running with them thinking it was a celebration. But meanwhile, it's the middle of a fucking return and they didn't
Seahawks, man, I think that's a bad loss to the Raiders. I'm still not sold on the Raiders winning 2 games in a week, as is oh my gosh, your season's turning around. It's still Johnson McDaniels, and season's a wash, but it's a good moral victory. Saints 49ers do what they do. They literally physically beat up the Saints, literally shut them out. Alvin Kamara had 2 fumbles. They beat them up, and they had red zone fumbles too. So 49ers are dangerous. They're a very dangerous team. And then, of course, Sunday Night Football, Packers, Eagles. Hey, we got a little Jordan Love sighting.
I saw.
We also have a little bit of love from Mel. If you look at his name, he's giving Nick a little bit of love. What's that saying?
Who's your daddy?
Nick is me puppy.
Damn.
I figured it out while you were gone, motherfucker.
That's Swahili for you, my bitch.
That's Swahili for you, my bitch. Wow, I can't.
Swahili.
I know, right? Before we get off the air, quick little preview for Steelers and Colts. What y'all expected tonight on Monday Night Football, man?
Sleeping by the end of the
boring game.
They said sleeping by the
I don't know, man. It's hard to say, man, because Steelers defense, still good defense.
Mm-hmm. But when they got Watt, they're good.
Yeah, and that Colts been like up and down. Games you think they're gonna lose, they end up winning. Their offense ain't really been producing nothing. Mm-hmm. It's hard. I'm gonna go with the Steelers because of the defense and because of the coach. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna ride Jeff Saturday's being the coach for so long. After a while, you're gonna have to play.
Oh, thank God the game's in Indy. We don't have to look at those stupid fans and their stupid fucking towels. Oh, thank you, Jesus.
Oh, goodness.
Inbred, my redneck motherfucker. Take my terrible towel, my terrible team, and go home to my terribly looking wife.
Oh, my gosh. I can't.
The thoughts and expression of Nick Shine. It's not.
No, it reflects anyone who's outside of Pittsburgh. You ever see those hogs? Everyone there is 5'2" with a bad perm and weighs 340.
Yo.
5'2" and 340.
Wait,
Jesus.
no, it's the perm part that got me, dog.
And they wear Big Ben jerseys, and they haven't showered since Ben's last rape.
Neither has been.
Yo. On that note, this is the way that we're going to end this show. Steelers, I think it's clean sweep. I think we're all going Pittsburgh on this. But golly, this is, yeah. Y'all ridiculous, man. But no, it's always a pleasure chopping it up with my boys, man. Y'all make sure y'all come back Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for episode 203.
Let's look real quick at Mel's name again before we leave the show, everybody. Look at Mel showing some love. That's
Nick is my hero.
You usually say fuck Nick, but now you're being very complimentary.
My thing is, if Nick is anybody's hero, God help that person. Anyway, on behalf of the big homie Nick Shine, that is the homie. Nick is his hero, Shiro. I can be your Shiro, baby.
Sorry, Lamar, what's your name?
I hate Mel. But no, check out. I'll pop on tonight after Monday Night Football comes on. So if anybody's, y'all can definitely come chop it up with the wild card. But on behalf of the whole I.O.W. Sports crew, come back Thursday, 4 p.m. Standard Time for episode 203.
I'm leaving the show before Mel does it to me. Peace, everyone.
Peace and love, y'all. We'll check you out Thursday.
Peace.
What woman, sir?